16 drivers, we're going to have the favorites, and they'll perform like favorites. And we're going to have surprises. We're going to have underdogs, which is such an important theme in sports or movies.
We love the underdogs.
And you love that. But here's something that most people aren't focused on. The drivers with the most pressure right now are the 27 not in the playoffs, because they're facing a letdown. They're getting zero attention. In some cases, they're fighting for their job.
Back to SportsCenter, Sara and Bram with you this afternoon to the one thing this Ravens team wants to be making headlines for, their play. And last night it spoke volumes. John Harbaugh said this week his guys went to work in a football cocoon, and what emerged after was the Ravens' fourth largest win ever against the Steelers. Here is how they got. And in case you missed it last night, Taysom Hill did nothing to quiet the Heisman talk surrounding the BYU quarterback. He came into last night's game against Houston averaging almost 350 yards of total offense a game, and that number wins it all. So you got all that?
I got
We know you got all that. How would you approach this new playoff format if you were driving today?
You really got no choice, Sara. You got to be aggressive. You got to be assertive. And if you look at the new thing and you're racing with authority, Jeff Gordon demonstrates all that. He is as good as I've seen him in a decade. You
brought it up. It's been a while. 2001 was the last time that Jeff Gordon took home a championship. He's got 4 of them, but it's been more than a decade, so he would love to end that drought. That's Ricky Craven with us here on SportsCenter. And for more on this matchup, we welcome in Merrill Hodge here at the touchscreen. Bengals defense impressive in that Week 1 victory over Joe Flacco and the Ravens. What jumped out to you about their D when you watched this game back?
Well, they're the very best in the National Football League at getting pressure on you from the A-gap concept. Now, this may only happen a dozen times in the game, but it may be the most critical aspect when Atlanta has the ball and the Bengals defense is on the field. How the Bengals are effective, how effective they could be, or how well Atlanta handles. It'll be interesting to see when these plays happen, who wins this particular matchup. It could determine who wins the game.
It was a career day for Matt Ryan last week. The Bengals haven't started a season 2-0 since 2006. And listen, Merrill, we understand it's week 2, so there's no reason to panic just yet. But there's growing concern about the Cowboys and Tony Romo. They're going to try and avoid an...
Jade and Randy back with you on SportsCenter. Pretty simple. Win and you're in. It's been the emphasis all year in NASCAR. Chicago kicking off the new look chase this weekend, and there are 16 drivers contending for the championship. Tell you what, they're going to have to make the most of their final 10 starts if they want any chance of winning it all. That's because of this, the new format, 4 rounds. Yeah, if you slip up in any of the races, you might be gone. Every 3 weeks, the bottom 4 drivers in the standings will be eliminated from contention. Oh, but there's a surefire way to ensure you advance. If you win during a round, you move on to the next one. That's guaranteed. So that leads us to the season finale. 4 drivers in contention in Miami, each vying for a championship, and each will enter with the same number of points. Pretty simple. Driver who finishes first of the 4, they take home that championship. So, hey, and our ESPN college football insider, Brett McMurphy, with us this morning. All right, I tell you what, the Big Ten, they are happy that it's a new week. That is for sure, because they want to put last week as far behind them as they can. The Big 12, however, they're under the microscope this time around.
Yeah, this is a big week for the Big 12, similar to kind of the Big 10 last week. Oklahoma plays 10 and was televised on ESPN BC. That's ESPN before Corso.
There you go, so, BC. I like that. Yeah. 1894. See, we had lots of history for you this morning. Yeah. I do. I remember it very well. Courtesy of this man, Brett McMurphy.
Sitting down, which is rare because
unlikely.
He's a blur. He's probably watching if he's at home. My son Jack, not quite a blur, probably doing the same. Hopefully my wife, who is great with child right now, is watching as well. Her feet hopefully up on the couch. She's pregnant. She's due next month. She deserves to rest. While I worry, though, that I'm going to be here at work when she goes into labor. That's my biggest fear right now.
Yeah, it's a valid concern in your mind, but Billy Horschel does not have that concern. His wife also expecting very soon, and if the baby comes, the baby comes. He's going to be on the golf course, and he has 10 million reasons why. Maybe more importantly, he has one blessing from his wife.